welcome back to the channel, guys. Before we get started, if you guys can go over and subscribe to the Vitamin D Tang channel, the link is in the description below. That is where you're going to find all the vlogs. But here, I'm gonna do a recap just to let you guys know how I'm doing. So let's start with the beginning of the week. We rolled into Texas. It took us 14 hours to get here. Very eventful-ish. So I flew into Ohio on an overnighter. I drilled my 9 balls. And then Chris picked me up from the shop that Mikey was at. We went to the shop in his hometown, and Chris had to work until about 7. Ended up leaving like 8:30. Yeah. 14 hours. Yeah. We stopped just past Nashville for 3 hours, and then finished the drive in the morning. Yeah. We stopped there for 3 hours to take a nap in the middle of the night. Drove, and then yeah, we made it. We're fine. We had unofficial practice one of the days, so it was cool to get warmed up and get our legs under us. Then we had official practice the next day. I did drill a Viking and a Gremlin tour. If you guys didn't watch the vlogs already, they drilled my Gremlin tour upside down. I didn't film any of it, but it was kind of funny. They did ask me if I wanted to plug it, but because of the 1/4-inch plug rule on the tour, I decided not to, because I wasn't sure if I would be able to throw it if they just plugged it, but the layout was on the wrong side of the scribe and the pitches were the other way. So if I were to have it quick plugged, that would be almost a whole inch of plug, which would make the ball illegal. So just did a new one, all square, good to go there, no problems. We bowled on 37 feet and 50 feet. It is a dual pattern event. We bowled 24 games of qualifying. The morning blocks were on 37 feet. The evening blocks were on 50 feet. First block was really good. I went 170 over. I threw urethane for about a game and a half. Maybe, I don't really remember. I think I tried to throw my 2 1/4-inch concept as well. The early smooth balls were not great. I ended up throwing my short COG Tour Dynamics and the tall one as well, that block, and I was in 18th after 6 games. So it started really good, took the top 32 for the cut. Later that evening, we bowled on the 50-footer, and that was a bit of a struggle. We broke them down very well. By we, I mean I crossed with BJ Moore, Chris Sloan, Tim Foy. 2 of them are in, at the time I'm filming this, they just finished bowling match play, and 5 guys made the show. But we all broke them down to the right. It was really good. There's a reason why. If you break them down to the right, it makes the lanes easier. So we made almost every game 1 really nice. It was hard to make the 37-footer nicer because they already hooked so much to the right and they hooked a bunch overall. So it was more like finding a ball that was gonna give you hold than trying to create hook to the right. But the 50-footer helped to create hook to the right, which we did every time, and we had a pretty good look. I personally struggled on the fresh. The first 37-foot block I had +10 after 2. The evening, the 50-footer I had even after, no, I was -10, which was not good. Tim Foy had 520 after 2, BJ had 480 after 2. So it was clearly there. I don't know, maybe I just got the yips game 1, or I'm just not trusting what I'm seeing, whatever the case is. I did make some adjustments for the next day, which was good. But that night block was tough because we broke them down nice. I shot 189. Getting 9 a bunch of times. I missed the pocket once, so I clearly was doing something wrong. The next pair, we had to move an arrow to the right. We followed 2 lefties. There's only 2 righties, and lane 3, I think, is the tightest lane in the house. I'm pretty sure it backs up because I did choose spare. I'm almost positive my ball was going to the right as I was shooting a left side spare. I did miss a spare that game. I think it backed up, but even if it didn't back up, I probably would have missed the spare anyways, but I shot 2 out of that game. And then after that, it just felt like we never had anything to the right. Our ball was hooking so early that we had to move left, but every pair we hit felt really flat, and every pair was just a little different. And it just never felt like we can get into the rhythm. So I was even there. I dropped out of the cut by about 30 or 40, I think. But yeah, even wasn't a good number. So we come in the next day. I throw the red ball for 3 games. Back on the 37-footer. And then I go to my shiny 3x5x6 concept. Looked really good through that for a few games. Then through the tall Tour Dynamics. Got to about 130 over with 1 to go. Then we make the flip again. The low end was really tough. Saw one lane was hooking way more than the other. The pair itself was hooking way more than any other pair I've seen so far. I felt like I bowled a really good game for 206, which was unfortunate because I just came off a 260, so I felt like I was kind of getting into a rhythm. And then that pair just broke it all together. I think I was high man on the pair with 206, but that wasn't a good game because the cut ended up going up about 40. I think I was about 10 out of the number going into that game, and then I ended up being 40 and change out going into the last block, which didn't feel good at all because I didn't feel very confident on the long, given I went even and I was like 80 behind the pace for the block. But you know, same thing, rinse, wash, repeat. Made an adjustment, tried to get a little smoother with my release so I wasn't as yippy. I think me being yippy at the bottom, just kind of snatchy, kind of like, you know, if you guys know J Rags on TV Bowling Supply, he's very snatchy. I felt like I was J Rags. the first 50 footer. So don't be J-Rag, be nice and smooth at the bottom. I did that. And then I had 50 over for 2, so that was cool. I kind of just grinded my way through the block. Ended up with 130 over. I bowled a really, really good 240 game. On the flip again, we bowled on 5 and 6, I think. And I bowled 240. And I don't think it was because the pair was good. I felt like I laced about 8 of them. Everybody else on my pair bowled 170. So that 240 was huge. So I went into the number backpedaled that game. It went from 390, no, I don't remember what the amount was, but it went back 6 pins, I think. So everybody kind of struggled game 5. I was about 50 ahead of the number going into the last game. Bowled not great 206. I missed a 2-8 and got to 440 over, made the cut. That's actually my 3rd major cut in a row. The players last year, then the TOC, and then now the players this year. So that's pretty cool. So going into the cashers round, we bowled on the 50 footer on the left lane, 37 on the right, which kind of makes sense because the ball return becomes a problem on the long pattern, blah, blah, blah. I kind of want the long pattern on the right lane because I don't mind playing in front of the ball return, and I know that slows some people down. But that would probably also make it better for the lefties, which if you guys are watching this and you already watched the show, you know how many lefties were on the show, and that's all of them that made match play. But anyways, cash round started out really good. Bowled 250 the first game. Made the same adjustments for the 50 footer. And I actually didn't even try urethane. I left it in the paddock just so I wouldn't be tempted to throw it. Threw that shiny concept again, which was really good. Oh, I forgot to mention I drilled an Ion Max Pearl for the second block of the 50 footer. Which ended up being pretty good that block. Wasn't as good in the cashers round. I broke out my Reality 4x4x4, so that one was really good. Game 1. The next pair, they started a little further left than us, so they got a little choppy. Didn't make great shots, shot 190. Never really, I had this nagging headache. I didn't sleep so good the night before. I think I stayed up too late, and then I didn't sleep through the morning. We didn't bowl till 6 p.m., so I woke up at 8 a.m. after going to sleep at 2, and I was kind of tossing and turning all night. I typically do that when I'm bowling because I'm just overthinking. I think too much about all the scenarios that can happen, and with us bowling on 2 different patterns, now I'm thinking about, okay, what balls do I throw when? What's gonna happen in the progression? If I see this, I'm gonna throw this. If I see that, I'm gonna throw that. And there's just way too much going on in my head. So I still kind of have that little headache, but it's getting better, I think. I ended up going 108 over for the 6 games of the cashers round, and I missed the cut by 52. I missed 8 spares for the week. 4 of them were single pins. I did work on something with my spares and my swing plane before I left for the tour, and I don't think I quite have the adjustment down yet, but there was also some other things I wasn't doing that typically makes my spare shooting good. And I've been practicing the last couple of days during the breaks, and it's starting to feel better. So I'm hoping for better spare shooting next week in St. Petersburg. What is this? St. Peters, Missouri. We are coming to St. Peters, Missouri. If this video is coming out before the show, watch on CW. EJ is obviously the number one, not obviously, but he's the number 1 seed again, so he's bowling for another major title. 3 lefties, and then Brandon Bonta. If you guys don't know Brandon Bonta, you're gonna find out real quick because he's nice with it. So yeah, I felt really good mentally all week. I'm trying to be better about how I react to the results, because you can't control the results, but you can't control how you react to it. So I am trying to be as best as I can with that. I had a couple of events before the tour where I didn't react very appropriately to things I could not control. So making that adjustment, it's very important to be at the top of your game, mentally, physically, emotionally, when you're at the highest level. And it's really hard to be competitive when you're not at your best in every category. So felt really good this week. Obviously it's week 1, so that I feel like it's always easiest because that's, you have nothing on the board yet. There's no real carryover, but the goal is to not let anything carry over. Just like we had a good week this week, next week's a new week, so we gotta start ground 0. I think one good thing that comes out of this week is something did positive happen. We made a cut, got a check, and then obviously the good things we did mentally. Thought we physically threw it well too, which is new because typically my biggest issue is my physical game. So we're gonna try to take the positive things into next week and then improve the things that we need to work on. But all in all, great start to the tour season. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure you let me know by liking the video down below. Comment down below if we're gonna see you at any of the stops. Don't be afraid to come up and say hi. We are not allowed to sign autographs while we're bowling for score. So just keep that in mind. We don't want to have to turn you away. So if you guys just remember that, we won't have to turn you away. Practice session's fine. Pro-Am, absolutely. When we're just floating around the bowling center, of course, but not during competition. So if you guys made it this far, I appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. We are going to be doing these weekly recaps just to keep you up to date on the main channel. And of course, if you want to watch all the action, it's on the Vitamin D Tang channel. Link in the description below. So yeah, kicking off the tour season on the right foot, and let's keep making some cuts and hopefully make some shows.